Well, in the middle of editing that long video about the reports, rumors of Trackhouse signing Zane Smith, maybe through leasing a charter, through Spire, through buying it, through Live Fast, some breaking news came in about actually Trackhouse and one of the drivers that they've already had a couple of times, and that now they will see him in the future once again, Shane Van Gisbergen. He, of course, won the first ever race on the streets in NASCAR, won the Chicago Street Race back in July. Once again, raced at Indianapolis at the road course race in the Cup Series and finished in the top 10. And he also made a start in the Truck Series at IRP on the short track oval, making his first ever oval start in NASCAR. Well, now he has officially made a deal with Trackhouse that will see him in all three National Series of NASCAR in 2024. Trackhouse announced it tonight. They said in a social media post, "News, SVG is coming to America. He'll race in a combination of NASCAR's three National Series in 2024. So yes, it is official. SVG will be in the Cup Series, which of course he has a win in at Chicago, the Xfinity Series, which he has yet to make a start in, and the Truck Series, which he made a start at back in August in Indianapolis. So yes, he's going to get a lot of experience at three different cars, and it's going to be a great experience for him. Now, how many starts he'll make in each series has not been determined yet, but it also has not even been announced what teams he's going to be officially driving for, but it has been announced that it is indeed through Trackhouse. Remember, just a few weeks ago, there were reports that SVG was working on this deal with Trackhouse, working on a deal that would see him in multiple series, that it would be a developmental deal to get him into NASCAR, and that it would be through Trackhouse. Trackhouse, the team that he won at Chicago with. Here's what the press release said. Trackhouse signs Shane Van Gisbergen to 2024 developmental program. Three-time Supercar champ moving to America to take on NASCAR. Trackhouse Racing and Shane Van Gisbergen today announced an agreement that will see the three-time Supercar champion and the winner of NASCAR's inaugural Chicago Street Race move to America to drive in a combination of races in NASCAR's three National Series in the 2024 season. Trackhouse has agreed to build a 2024 program that will put the 34-year-old Auckland, New Zealand native in select races in NASCAR's Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series, plus some late model and other races. So not only is he going to be doing a variety of NASCAR races in terms of the National Series, he's going to be doing some short track racing. So for those of you who don't know, a late model is a type of car. I don't know much about late models other than that they race on short tracks. So he will be getting some short track oval experience in the late model realm. And then as for the Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series, it seems like he's going to be getting a variety of experience. Obviously, the Cup Series side of things, he has road course experience. He has road course success with the win at Chicago and the top 10 at Indianapolis. He's going to be in competitive equipment if he indeed is staying with Trackhouse and not going to, a part-time car or something like a Colleague, or if he were to go somewhere like Spire. But it is indeed that SVG will probably be in a part-time Trackhouse car, if I had to guess, and that he will make a variety of starts, whether it's road courses, but I also would not be surprised to see him in some oval races maybe. Maybe you don't throw him straight into the fire and throw him in a mile and a half like a Vegas or a Charlotte, but maybe, a super speedway, a track that theoretically anyone can win on, but it is a hornet's nest. There's a lot going on. There's some big crashes, but the super speedway race, the Daytona 500, NASCAR's biggest race, maybe you could put him in that race. But then I also expect maybe to see him in some short tracks like a Martinsville or even a Bristol maybe. But of course, we will also see him. I think the majority of the ovals we will see SVG in will come in the Trucks and Xfinity Series. The Trucks and Xfinity Series, those are the series that we see guys start at in terms of the National Series, and then they eventually move their way up to the Cup Series. Those two series are specifically for that use. It's almost like the minor league of NASCAR, where you see in baseball, for example, you see someone go from single A to double A, triple A, or something like that up to the Cup Series eventually, or to the MLB eventually. Sorry, I'm getting all mixed up here. But the point being is that SVG will be in the Truck and Xfinity Series for some races, and that he will be learning how to race on the ovals, whether it's a short track like he's already raced on once, whether it's an intermediate track like a Texas, a Kansas, or whether it's a big track, a super speedway like a Talladega or Daytona. There's a lot of different types of racing on the oval that he is going to have to learn, that he is going to have to get used to. He's going to have to learn how to race, how he's going to be raced, and he's going to have to get accustomed to those different styles of racing. And I think this is a really good way to do it. And another point that was brought up a few months ago, or a month ago really, that I think is a very good point, is that you can't just throw him straight into a full season of, Cup, because I'm not saying that he doesn't have the skill set for it, but it is a huge transition for him. He is going from racing in Australia, New Zealand, his whole life down under in that kind of region, to coming over to the United States and North America, a completely different culture, a completely different region, a completely different time zone. And NASCAR has 38 race weekends a year and the schedule's not out for 2024, but if it's the same as this year, only one off week. The entire year, one off week. That is a lot of racing. That is a huge transition for SVG. That's a huge transition for anyone. I don't care what series you're going from. If you're going from supercars in Australia to NASCAR in the U.S., if you're going from NASCAR in the U.S. to, the Japanese Super Formula Series, it doesn't matter if you're going from a 20 race schedule to a 38 race schedule in a completely different time zone, completely different region. It is a huge transition, and it is very understandable why they are doing this, why they are doing a developmental deal where they are going to run him part-time in these series, but also, to help him learn the oval side of things, because, it's pretty obvious. He's got the road course thing down. He's 2 for 2 on top 10s. He's got himself a win on the streets, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him on a lot of road courses next year. Would not be surprised to see him on ovals next year in the Cup Series. Maybe a couple, not as many, but Xfinity and Truck I would expect him to see on the ovals more. But for the trucks, if I had to guess, Nice Motorsports, I'm sure they've got a deal with them. That's who he drove for in the Truck Series just a few weeks ago in August. And then as for Xfinity, I know Trackhouse and Spire, I think they have a relationship, so maybe that we could see him in the Spire car. Spire does a part-time schedule in the Xfinity Series, so maybe we'll see SVG in that car. If not, we've seen Colleague. They've made a deal with Colleague before. We've seen multiple drivers go into one of the Colleague cars. It's kind of like almost their all-star car, where we see a bunch of Cup Series drivers like Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, go into that car to drive. Maybe they can strike a deal for SVG to be in that all-star car for a few races. But 3 very different cars as well. The Truck versus Xfinity versus Cup. They're all very different in how they drive, how they race. So he's going to have to learn all that as well. SVG on social media, he has said that off to America, United States of America next year with that flag there. Huge opportunity for me, and so thankful to Justin Marks and the Team Trackhouse family for giving me a shot in NASCAR. Can't wait to get over there. Justin Marks said a program like this was on the whiteboard in 2019, and we're here. SVG 2024, can't wait. And then this is from Bob Pockris. He said, SVG will run select races in NASCAR's Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series, plus some late model races. We already knew that. But then he also said, don't expect Trackhouse to field those vehicles. They will partner with teams in those series. So that makes it seem like kind of like what I guessed there, is that Trackhouse, they may be running the Cup Series side of things, but when it comes to Xfinity and Truck, there will not be a Trackhouse team to run. So they may have to either buy a seat for a race or two with Nice Motorsports in the trucks, or buy a race or two in Xfinity with Spire, Colleague, whoever it may be. But it will indeed be through Chevrolet, whoever they do it through. I don't think they would do it through Ford or Toyota. That would be a little awkward, a little bit weird. As for his car number, nothing's confirmed yet. Will he continue to run the Project 91 car? I don't know. Will they give him his old number from Supercars, 97? Will they, make up a number and be like 58? I don't know. Sponsorship TBD. Obviously, he had enhanced health with him on the car in the Cup Series. Maybe they'll have team sponsors for him. Maybe he can. I know he raced for a Red Bull team in Australia, but maybe Red Bull wants to stick with him. Maybe we'll see Red Bull back on the NASCAR car. We saw Red Bull. They had a team actually in NASCAR about a decade ago, but maybe we see Red Bull back on a car. I don't know. But SVG back into NASCAR. It is official. He will be in the Cup Series, Truck Series, and Xfinity Series in 2024, running a part-time basis. And then maybe we will see him transition into that full-time role. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully there's no breaking news in the middle of editing this one. But once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We've talked about SVG a lot on this channel, so I'm glad you guys enjoy that topic. Whether you're from here in the U.S., whether you're from Australia, New Zealand. But, that's it for this video. Wherever you are, have a great night. It's currently like 9 p.m. here in the U.S., but have a good night. If you're in Australia, have a good morning or afternoon, whatever's happening over there, and I'll see you guys in the next one.